Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Well, I don't know how many of you folks know it out there. I know I have a pretty good following here in the town of Marshfield and in the vicinity. But for those of you who don't know, this is actually going to be, I feel kind of sentimental when I say this, my final show in this area. When the TV station moves to the new high school, I won't be moving. I'm going to a different TV station, so this will be it. They're closing on Monday, and I just want to thank everybody who supported me for the last 4 years since I've been doing Topic Time since I started it. And I'll miss you guys, and please feel free to let me know how you guys are doing. Drop me a line. But in the meantime, I have an awesome guest to send it off tonight with me. This is Heather Renee Olson. She's a model. And thanks for coming in, Heather.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell me, you told me about your life as a kid. Oh, by the way, if anyone wants to call and talk to us, there's the number up on the screen for the final time, 781-837-4384. Now, you've been kind of like a, how do you say, you had a nomadic childhood, didn't you, basically?
A little bit, yes, I did.
Okay. And that you've done a lot of traveling, and why is that?
My father was in the military, so I moved at least 15 times in my life, and that's including me traveling alone as like an independent individual, because I moved by myself a lot, so I counted that too.
So you're kind of you're definitely independent, sort.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, now you're a model. You have a portfolio we're going to look at tonight, which I can't wait to see. You brought it in, and we're going to look at each picture. And so what I want to know is, how did you get started modeling? I mean, how long have you been doing it for?
A few years now. I didn't really it wasn't like something I wanted to do. It was...
That's interesting. I've never heard that before, but go on.
It was more of a hobby, like, it was more of me trying to do something and like to do something better with my life, to try something new, and to get over over a really bad breakup.
Oh, wow.
So I used that to get over it and use that as a hobby. And then when I worked with a few photographers, other photographers really liked my work, so I got promoted up, and that's how I started. Promoted
up?
Yeah.
Well, meaning what? You mean you got more work?
I worked with different photographers. Either it was inside of state or outside of state, to the point that...
Outside of what state? Maine? You live in Maine now?
Yes, I live in Maine. And I worked with a few in Boston.
Okay.
Matt Shields is also a really good one. I'm not sure if he's still here, but he moved to LA. Yeah. He's really good.
Wow.
Yep. Yep.
So where have you, all right, well, let's go back to your childhood. I want to know what that was like. You moved around a lot. What kind of a kid were you? Were you outgoing? Did you do a lot of, were you tomboyish?
Yes, you could say so. I used to go outside barefoot a lot with friends, play soccer with the guys, play baseball.
There you go. Athletic, obviously.
Yes. I was very friendly, very nice.
Outgoing.
Made a few friends here and there.
Cool.
Very funny.
Even though you had a hard time keeping friends because you traveled so much.
Right, it was
you
really
didn't stay in one place for too long. Yeah, that must have been tough. Okay, well, let's see. So, where did you spend like most of your childhood? I mean, did you settle down at all for any number of years, like maybe more, like up to 5 anywhere?
What do you mean?
I mean, like of all the places that you spent, where did you spend the longest?
I think I spent the longest in Philly.
Philadelphia.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Right in the city or outside?
It was towards like a suburb.
Okay.
It was on the west side of Philly. It's Warminster. I grew up there.
Oh, okay. It's like a little county, or it's an area of Philly.
Yes.
It's a suburb of Philly.
Yep.
As is like Marshfield is a Boston.
Yep.
Kind of like that, or Hyde Park maybe. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, because I'm trying to pinpoint that. Now that was you say your father was in the service. Was he on the service in Philly too? Was there a military base there? Or was that more of a civilian life for him too?
I think there was a place in Warminster.
Okay.
Off of where we lived, and I guess I lived there until I was 11, 12.
Okay. And from how old were you there when you started?
I think 2.
Wow, so that is a long. So they did spend 7 or 8 years there.
Yep.
Okay, and in that time, what did you do? You played. That's where you made the brunt of your friends, I'd say, because you spent more time there than anywhere.
There was more black people down there then versus Maine. So my best friend was black, which is very like weird, but
Why is it weird?
when I came up to Maine, I never really saw a black person until like I went in high school. There was only like 2 black people. I'm like, where's all the black people?
Well, that's good. I mean, it's not as integrated in Maine, but it doesn't
Right.
mean. But that's cool. Yeah, that's great. Well, so you learn what it's like to every area has more of every minority and majority is different in every area depending on the demographics and whatnot.
Right, right.
Yeah, I never really thought of that. I guess there probably aren't as many black people in Maine as there are in other parts of the country.
Right,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. So now, as far as modeling is concerned, you did it. That's an interesting story. You did it because you were getting out of a bad breakup, and it apparently. Now, I always say everything happens for a reason, and it's certainly taken a very good turn for you, apparently.
Right, right.
And
I actually really enjoy it. It's like one of
but you're right.
the few
That's good.
that I
You
like.
should enjoy it.
Right.
Okay. Now, where exactly have you modeled besides, you say you modeled in Boston and...
I did a few in where I'm from. I'm from Brunswick, so I did a few there.
Brunswick, Maine?
Brunswick, Maine.
Okay.
I did a few up there.
You know a girl named Jessie Sims, I'm wondering?
Jessie Sims?
Yeah.
I have
She-
no
She
idea.
was a model and she lives up there too.
Really?
Yeah, she was a guest on my show last fall.
Okay, I might have to check that out.
Okay, right. But go on, so you do a lot of like beach stuff?
I have not.
Because you're saying that you live in Maine and you're on the waterfront.
Right, right. I did a few, but I want to do more so in August.
Okay.
I just have to pick the right beach and where and at and make sure it's not raining.
So you
and
basically
stuff.
pick the locations more than your photographers does?
Yeah,
do?
pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty good. And how many photographers have you worked with so far, you think? Ballpark, unless you know for sure.
7, maybe?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding. And so you've done shoots in Boston?
A few of them, yes.
And all right, where in Boston and Brunswick, Maine, where else? Or is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay. Now, what about do your plans for the future include like going to New York, maybe doing some, maybe down the coast to Florida, some other, maybe get some more coastal work?
I was thinking, I honestly like New York, and I
Okay.
was thinking going to New York City
Right.
and dropping off my portfolio there. And
Wow.
I was thinking going there or California.
Yep. Do you have an agent?
I do not.
Okay, but you do pretty well representing yourself.
Right, right.
Wow. Okay, these photographers, you want call? I mean, how many assignments do you think you've had in the past? You said you have 7 different photographers. About how many assignments do you think you've had since you started? Go give or take.
I have no idea.
Well, is it that
Honestly.
because you have so many you've had?
It depends on the work. If I wanted, per se, to wear like a dress or to wear a swimsuit, I would have to negotiate when I wanted to do that or what I want to do.
Okay.
We compromise.
Okay, you and the photographers?
Yes.
Okay, it sounds to me like you don't even need an agent. It sounds like you do pretty well on your own, and you don't have to pay anybody to help you. You know,
No.
right? Well,
Yeah.
maybe
It's just easier and less
Well,
stress.
of course, if it's easier, then why bother getting an agent? Unless they want to pay your way, that's different. That's one thing. But a lot of people will get agents, they have to pay them, and that's if you can avoid it, definitely. If you feel you're successful enough.
Right.
All right. Well, what other things have you done besides modeling, though? I'm just curious. I mean, what kind of work you've done, if you want to mention that.
More hobbies or what I do for
Both.
life? I'm an artist.
Okay.
I paint,
Draw. Okay.
draw. I do photography on the side when
Awesome.
I can. I work on cars.
That's great. Doing what? You mean like repairing them?
Kind of. I worked with my stepdad, and I took out an engine, and I helped repair the transmission with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. How did you learn that?
I was just really curious what my stepdad was doing one day, and I
Yeah.
was like, can I watch you? And then to the point that I got so fascinated
Yeah.
with him that
Right.
he actually showed me what to do and took parts off, and so I know how to do a few odd and ends with the car.
No kidding. That can come in very handy. I mean, have you ever done that for work? I mean, paid work?
No, but I'm trying to go to college for a mechanic.
It's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
are you going to college now? Or
I took a semester last year and the year before.
Where?
At it's a Southern Maine Community College.
Oh, I know where that is in
Yeah.
Gorham.
Yep.
I actually did a TV commercial there a couple
Really?
years ago. Yeah, in the music department.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know that. It's a nice campus.
Most definitely.
Yeah, Gorham's a beautiful town. You do anything up there? Like you hang out there at all? Like you look to me like you like the outdoors.
I love the outdoors. When
Well,
it's
Gorham's a
fall.
great town for the outdoors, especially in the fall. Plenty of walking trails and.
Right, and the fall leaves are really pretty.
They
so
sure
it's-
are. Match
you
your
just
hair
go
color.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you like taking hikes and stuff in the.
I love taking hikes, actually.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I do
Yeah.
too, so I can relate. And I mean, Maine's kind of far, but I go up to New Hampshire all the time. You ever done any shoots in New Hampshire?
I have not, but
Yeah.
a few photographers asked if I should shoot with them. I just haven't had the time yet.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do? Well, what do you do for work besides model then?
Oh, that's a good question. I work at a superstore,
What-
like a supermarket.
Right.
And I work at Five Guys. And
Five Guys. I know. I should know what that is, and I don't. What is it?
It's they make hamburgers
Oh,
and awesome French fries, boardwalk style French fries,
Okay.
and they're amazing.
I'm a vegan, so when it comes to hamburgers, the only kind I eat are veggie burgers.
Right. They do have, if you have gluten allergies, you can have a bun bowl or a lettuce wrap.
Well, can you have veggie burgers too?
Yep, they have veggie burgers.
great,
And
okay.
it's very delicious.
Tell me about it. I'm taking a stab. You're not a vegan or a vegetarian.
I'm both. So if I don't want to eat meat, I can go to the vegetarian side.
I know, but I mean, do you eat meat? You must eat it sometime or not?
Sometimes, not
Okay,
always.
then you're not a vegetarian. If you were a real vegetarian, you wouldn't eat it out at all. That's all right. I've been for 32 years and a vegan for 3.
A lot of people say it's healthier.
It is healthier, and I love eating the way. I eat a pound of chocolate every day too.
That's good.
It's fantastic in my smoothies. So I think it's healthier. I think it's more humane. And if you've noticed on Facebook, I'm always promoting veganism and vegetarianism because
Right.
I really feel bad in the way the animals get treated.
Right,
It
most definitely.
saddens me.
It is really sad.
Yeah, I mean, you like animals. I remember even when we were talking on the phone today, you said, "Oh, I see a puppy."
Right.
Yeah. So I totally get that.
Like animals are just like humans. They just can't
They
communicate their feelings.
They can communicate them well, I hate to say it, but when they're being taken down for food, they can, and they do very well. That's the thing. That's why I can't understand how anyone can work in a slaughterhouse.
Right.
But,
I can't do that.
Right. But that's good though. I mean, I would like to be able to convert the whole world into veganism. It's not an easy thing. I think it'll happen someday. Probably not in our lifetime, but I think someday people will stop eating meat and dairy, and they'll realize the error of their ways. Sometimes it
Right.
takes thousands of years for people to see that the world is a better place in a different light if they
Right.
just could and make the adjustment.
Right.
It's all part of evolution. It really is.
Most definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you work at this place. Is that a chain? Five Guys?
Yes, it is.
Which one do you work at? The one in Maine, I guess.
I work in Brunswick, actually.
Brunswick. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Now Brunswick is like right near Portland, right? You work.
10 miles away.
Oh,
20 minutes.
that's pretty close.
It's
yeah.
not bad.
Right. Now, have you ever done any? Talk about some of your acting stuff that you did in high school. You did some acting.
I did.
And then we'll talk about some of your paintings. And by the way, you didn't happen to bring any pictures you drew.
I did not.
Okay, that's fine.
But I have a few on Facebook.
Okay.
But it's like, for an example, like I could take a photograph.
Right.
And it'll take me a while, maybe a month, because I'm very a perfectionist.
What to develop it?
No. You just take a photograph
Right.
of like a person.
Right.
Or like an animal.
Oh, and you draw it from.
And I draw it,
okay.
and like the drawing is so identical to the picture.
Wow.
You can't even tell like I did it.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like
awesome.
you can make a lot of money doing that. What about like doing like pictures, like drawing pictures of people in person, like going to carnivals and doing caricatures of people? You ever do that?
I could do that, but I just feel like drawing at people is a little harder than if I do with animals, because there's like a certain way in the face and
Right.
everything. That's why it takes me at least a month to draw a person.
What about drawing like landscape scenes, like being on the beach and drawing the beach?
I can draw that.
Have you done that?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Have you ever anything in a museum?
Not that I know of, no.
Oh, have you ever sold anything? Have you ever what you could do? I don't know if you ever thought of doing this, but being that you're in the Boston area now, you know what a lot of people do? They'll go to the Boston Common and they'll paint the landscape. And then I remember one day I was in there. It was actually a wintry day. It was February 26, 1978. It was a Sunday, and like I told you, photographic memory. And some guy was painting a picture of the landscape, and I said, how much do you want for this? And he goes, $3,000. And I said, if I had it, I'd give it to you.
Wow.
So you might want to try that. I don't know.
Right.
It's just, I mean, because if it looks good, people might want to buy it. You
Most
never
definitely.
know.
Most definitely. I
They
might
sh-
have to check that out.
Yeah, it's just something. It's just a thought, because I always like to give my guests, interesting ideas. Well, in terms of like modeling, so most recently, I mean, now you're not going, right now. You said you took a course in auto mechanics at SMU.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone to one? I'm trying to think here. You probably graduated high school in 2009, right?
2010.
2010. Stay
Yep.
back here.
No.
Start
no.
late.
No, I just came.
Yeah, because I'm usually.
I went to kindergarten when I was 5.
Oh, okay. I know what it is. Kindergarten is. We didn't have mandatory kindergarten when I was a kid. That's why.
Yeah.
So
I
you
just
get.
didn't go to preschool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I understand. Well, okay. 2010. So, and when you were in school, when you say you taught, what kind of, you did some acting. So what was that? You did plays and stuff?
I did theater arts and drama class.
Okay.
I took drama class in school,
Yep.
and then I went after school as theater arts, and I did that throughout high school.
Okay, theater arts. Now, is that something separate from school?
It's not through credits, but it's
Okay.
after school, like a
I know,
like
but
an
what you did it
activity.
at school or not at school?
At school.
Oh, at
it was
school.
after school.
It was
though.
after school,
Yes.
but it was on school grounds.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Okay, so that was an extracurricular thing you were doing.
Kind of, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. And what did that entail as opposed to? I mean, did you act in any plays at school?
I did. I don't have the names on the top of my head,
That's
but I
okay.
did a few plays with
Right.
like 2 small parts.
Okay.
I
No
did.
small parts. Remember that.
I did one. It was a medium part where
Okay.
I was 2 people.
Yeah.
Talking to other people. I
Right.
did a musical and I
Okay.
danced. And
I was gonna
there
ask
was
you
singing involved.
I was going
too.
to ask you about that. How much singing and dancing have you done in your life? You done a lot. Can you sing and dance?
I can, but I'm not that good.
Okay.
I just need practice, if that makes sense.
No, you sound like you have, but you could probably sing if you did pretty good with the chair dance when we started the show.
Right.
Yeah, so that's it right there. You had a little practice. But when you were in that musical, you did sing in the musical, right?
Yes. Yes.
But not by yourself. I assume
It
you
was with a few groups of people.
Right.
With like 2, 3, or like 12.
Right, I understand. Wow.
Which isn't bad.
Have you ever now you say you like to draw and paint. Have you ever written anything, scripts or anything?
No, but I am
Books?
writing a book.
So talk about that if you would.
Um,
I've written a couple myself, so I can relate, but go ahead.
I don't have a title for the book yet, and it's
Well, is it fiction?
Or
is it based on your real life? Or
kind of. It's
Okay.
about my life,
Right.
but it's also, I'm going to twist it into like a romantic adventure, horror,
Cool.
and like a comedy story.
That's beautiful.
And it's kind of mysterious.
Wow, it should be.
in a way,
It is
so-
mysterious because you get all those things together. It's always people are going to think, this is interesting. I want to, but I'm a little in the dark about what's going to happen next. But I want to know. So that's going to be. It sounds to me like you got a great plan for
Right.
for the book.
I'm only on the 3rd chapter.
Well, that's not bad. How many pages have you done so far?
I don't know. Each chapter has around 4 pages.
Okay,
at
so you
least.
like 12 pages. That's not bad.
No, it's not.
Okay, so if you're that fussy about your photography and your painting and your drawing, and there's nothing wrong with being fussy about your writing too. And remember, editing, you can never over edit something.
No.
Right. And if you have to go back, you reread it, read it again, even put it away for a while, because a lot of times a good writer will sometimes like put something down, proofread it, and then not go back, and then put it away for maybe a few weeks.
Right.
And then when they come back to it, it's almost like it creeps into the mind again. So it's like you're reading it more objectively, like you were reading someone else's work.
Right.
And that's something you might want to consider
Right.
too. When but that's great though.
I get a little frustrated because I wrote it down in like a notebook.
Yep.
And then I didn't like it, and then I would tear it up.
I know
and
how
like
that is.
get so frustrated that like 2 weeks later I'll come back and then I'll write like 2 chapters.
Right.
Like it's just weird how that.
I know how it
happens.
is. I know exactly how it is. I mean, some days, like everything else, some days you're on, some days you're off. Some days you write some days you like what you write. Some days you say I gotta do better.
Right.
But ultimately, if you stay with it, now you seem to me, based on what you're telling me, I get that you're very stick-to-itive about a lot of things, and that's pretty impressive. And that's,
Right.
I mean, you're young still, and I think a lot of times people in your age group, have a hard time committing to stuff, but you sound like you really do, and that's very impressive. And the fact that you're able to negotiate these modeling gigs is pretty incredible too for yourself.
Thank you. Yep.
You know. All right. Well, we're definitely going to go to your portfolio in a little while. I can't wait to see it because I've seen pictures. You're very flashy on your Facebook page. I've seen pictures of you. I think I shared one like you had like a star painted around your eyeball. Right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have. You definitely have a flair.
Yeah.
For for what's unusual. How many pictures do you have in your portfolio?
I think I have 9.
9.
I think.
Okay. Well, tell you what. Why don't we start looking at them now? Because I'm psyched to see them. And what I'm gonna, like I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold them up to the camera. Oh, I like this one here. I see you were a blonde.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to the camera very slowly and.
Your cord. Are you?
Yeah. Just what's with it? What's with the?
I was just wondering.
Okay. Yeah. You do me a favor. Yeah. Keep an eye on the cord because I gotta have enough slack on my mic.
Okay.
I didn't move the camera. I think these pictures are large, so I don't have to walk too far. But let's see.
Okay.
All right. Hang on. Tell you what, I'm going to take this off, and you describe the picture. I'm going to walk up.
Okay. That was my first photo in Brunswick with one of my first photographers. And I guess I have very blue-green eyes in my eyes. And I guess one of the photographers, when we shoot, they actually really like my facial expressions in the eye, so most of them are very vibrant. So that's my best one out of most of them. And the second one was me in a small island off of Popham Beach towards Bath in Maine. I wanted to do something exciting, and I was wearing heels one day, and I was like, hey, this is a great spot for me to go in the in the middle of the street. And I just took a pose, and one of the photographers just took a picture, and that was also one of my favorite ones too. That one was with a woman photographer. She wanted to do something with fruits and veggies, and I recommended maybe strawberries and kiwis. So I wanted to try something new and adventurous. So I was like, well, what if we put like strawberry sauce or strawberry like we put in ice creams? And she experimented a few shoots with us, and she put just a whole bottle of strawberry syrup all over my head, and it went all over the place. And then she wanted me to hold them in strawberries, and I guess that was actually, it was a really good day and a really good messy and sticky shoot, but it was really fun at the same time. And this one was the same one as the first one.
Black and white.
It's black and white, which is great, and I guess I wanted to try some artsy, and I guess I wanted to see what it would feel like if I did something with my hands, so it looked kind of cool. And that was in March in Boston. I was in one of my red dresses, and it's actually on sale for like $100 if anyone wanted to buy it. My eyes actually, which is weird, my blue eyes actually matched the turquoise in the back, which is kind of awesome. This photo is one of my favorites. I'm a redhead. This was in a shoot with Matt Shields from Boston. I guess he's living in LA right now. And I did a few face stuff, and pretty much. I was in a field towards the west or south coast of Boston. We did it in a field, and I did a swimsuit shoot there, and that photo just was awestruck. It was very flattering and sophisticated, and I couldn't believe that I did a photo shoot in a swimsuit, so that was really cool. And I did this one in a field as well with, I used my best friend's jeans in a photo shoot, and I used that, and it was just weird how my hair looked complemented with the picture. And I guess that's about it with the photos.
Yep, that's it. Those were great. I thought, I loved that. Hey, that bikini shot was sweet. The one in the, when you were on the waterfront. That was, that was nice. And so was I mean, I liked them all. And that red dress one I shared, the one that's $100. I like that.
Right.
You're not afraid to name a price. That's really cool.
No, I spent at least about that much.
What's that?
I spent the dress about that much.
Okay, all right.
It was for a wedding.
It was for a wedding?
Yep, I was one of the bridesmaids.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. So, that's a very nice portfolio, and you're very accessible too. Like black and white color, blonde, redhead. Yeah. Have you ever done anything in a brunette shade?
I don't think I want to go that dark.
You don't want to go that way? Unless a photographer might recommend it and tell you why. But then again, that because sometimes the photographer might know something that you don't know.
Right. But I don't want to go too dark and become like a zombie-looking thing.
Well, maybe but you know what? Sometimes maybe a zombie look might work in a particular instance.
Maybe.
Well, I'll be honest. Like for instance, that strawberry picture, I thought that was supposed to be fake blood. I didn't know that was strawberry sauce.
A lot of people thought that. I was
of course,
like, no, it's strawberry sauce.
What's that?
It was strawberry sauce.
Right, I know that now because you said so. But I thought it was supposed to be like for a horror film.
Yeah.
It looked good though.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Okay, so I'm just now. Have you So you've acted in plays in high school. Have you ever auditioned for a film? You've never been in a film?
I have not.
Okay.
That I know of.
Now you say this is your first TV appearance, but you also told your first regular TV appearance. But you also said that you did some other local TV stuff too. You want to talk about that?
Sure. I did a few plays at churches.
Okay.
And
more than one church?
It was one church with a plays,
okay.
And we did plays, and we went to church,
okay.
And we were TV filmed and gave the people our DVDs of what the play was about.
Okay.
So I did that, but it was really small.
Okay. DVDs. Okay, so who wrote these DVDs? I mean, what were these DVDs of you doing what? Just acting like in plays and stuff?
Well, the DVD, we watched a movie of what the play was about.
Okay.
It was the first 12 chapters of the Bible that we had to act out.
No way. It's the Bible.
And it was
the very first, the Old Testament?
I believe so.
Okay.
So we did the Old Testament of the first 12.
Okay.
But it wasn't serious. It was more of a comedy play.
No kidding.
And we
poking fun at the Bible.
Not really, but we just.
I like it.
It was more of a, for example, Genesis is very long. We made it into 2 chapters.
I read Genesis. I read the Bible. I like. There's one part of the Genesis that I like a lot. There was one passage. I think it was Corinthians 28, passage 14, something like that. I don't know. I read it a long time ago, but that's incredible. Were you Adam? Were you Eve and Adam and Eve or something too?
No, someone else was.
Okay.
I was just the people who, I think it was the first chapter, the second chapter.
Well, that's usually where Adam and Eve come in.
God made animals and fishes, and I brought this fish and started showing around in the front of the stage.
Okay, I see.
Stuff like that.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, were you raised religiously growing up?
I was.
Okay.
But I didn't really understand that when I was a kid.
No, I realize that. What about now? It sounds to me like you're more along. You don't overdo it. You think about it, but you live agnostically, more or less.
A little bit. I have a relationship with God, and
okay.
I talk to Him just like I do with one of my best friends.
Oh, cool.
I try to go to church when I can,
All
but
right.
most of the time I don't.
All right.
That's about it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But you seem happy in your ways, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, All right. Well, now coming down here today, did you have to, did you have like a day off finally that you needed to take?
No, I actually took 3 days off from work.
Okay.
I kind of needed a vacation.
You needed some time off anyway.
And Maine was stressing me out, so it's like I need a vacation. So I planned how many days I could take off,
right?
And I did that. So I took a train and
you told me that's a long trip.
It is a long trip. It's 3 hours.
You could sleep on the train. You said you didn't sleep too well last night, but I guess you know what, you can catch a few Z's on a train anytime.
Most definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you'll miss the scenery.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
But then again, it was raining, so.
Well, that's when you sleep, when it rains, and you don't have to worry about. Well, that must have been fun. 3-hour trip. So you definitely know how to get around. I mean, you're independent. Do you you live with your folks, or you have your own place?
Yeah, I have my own place.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, you can take care of you. Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean, in a way, you're more independent than a lot of people in your age group, I'd say, from based on what I've taught, based on the demographics that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So did you never went to, besides that course you took in college, you never went to regular college yet, or you haven't, or you?
I don't know. I've thought about it.
No, but you haven't done it yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I took a few courses and a few classes.
Okay. Now let's go over those again. Now you mentioned one, the auto mechanical. That was your stepfather, but you took a course in theater, or?
I did in high school.
Right, in high school, but didn't you take a college course? Did you mention that you did?
Oh.
You never took a course at a college?
I did a few classes, but.
Well, that's what I mean. What were they?
They were English and.
Yeah.
Algebra.
So what did you take at SMU again?
It was a few classes. I took algebra.
Okay.
2 English courses.
Well, that sounds to me like a full schedule.
A little bit. It was like.
But you weren't really. But.
Long.
Yeah. Did you? So, but I guess you don't have a major, right? You don't have a major in mind, or do you?
I do. I just have to do my generals first, and then take the labs.
Okay. Now, speaking of, you ever been in like a music video?
No.
Have you? Now you say you don't. You say you sing and dance not that well. Do you play any instruments?
I do. I play guitar and I play piano.
Oh my goodness! You could have brought your guitar in.
I could have.
I have a lot of people. I have a lot of musical guests.
Yeah.
And sometimes they bring in music and instruments. I've had people bring in pianos too.
Wow.
Not full.
Like a keyboard?
Yeah, keyboards. Okay. But there's still 88 keys on them.
Wow.
But they're portable. They fold up and fold out. That kind of thing. Well, have you ever have you ever like? Do you ever write your own music?
But I have. When one of my piano teachers were teaching me, I can write my own music.
Okay.
So I knew the notes.
Right.
I did that, but I've never written any of music.
Have you ever been considered considered trying to be in a band, or have been?
I did when I was younger. This is funny.
Yeah.
But, I was in a band like the recorder.
Yeah, I know the recorder.
I was in a band with that.
I had that in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right. That's like a flute.
A little bit. It's just down instead of sideways.
Right. I understand. It's black. It's got about 6 holes in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's not bad. That's wonderful. So, how many people were in that band?
I think it was just the whole class of.
Oh, you're talking about in high school?
Elementary.
Oh, elementary school. Okay, that's same here.
Yeah.
Same here, because I took piano lessons for 7 years too, so I can relate to that.
Yeah.
My teacher said I was very talented, but I never practiced. So eventually, I decided after 7 and a half years, I decided to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
He's still playing. He's 82, and he's still very active. Yeah.
That's cool.
It is. Well, I mean, because I'm wondering now, did you ever check things to audition for? Because being a model, you could expand. You could be multifaceted and try to get into films too. There's tons of people making films in the area. Maine.
Right.
I don't know if you know who Bill McLean is. Does that name ring a bell?
No, not really.
Well, he's a filmmaker up there. There's a guy named Alan Dillingham too. These are people that if you could probably, I'm guessing based on what you're telling me, that if you audition for something like even an indie film, you could probably go a long way. It could add to your resume too.
Maybe.
And give you more stuff to model for too.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, that are in modeling try to break into films, and they're multifaceted.
Right.
And if you maybe took a few voice lessons, you could probably sing really well too.
Maybe.
Well, what about the idea of doing, acting in something comical? I mean, you said you're writing something right now.
Uh-huh.
When you finish that, are you planning on possibly turning it into a film?
Probably not right away. I would probably publish it first and see
I
how
see.
many people
Would read it.
like it
Yeah.
and read it and go from there.
Okay. Have you ever when you took writing courses in high school?
I did.
And how did you do?
Instead of writing 2 pages,
Yeah.
I would write 10 pages.
Well, I guess you were into it.
I really liked writing, and I have a very good imagination.
Yeah.
So it just stuck through paper, and people are like, "What are you doing? This is really good."
Wow.
And I just came from there.
Well, there you go. So people have already read your stuff and they like it a lot.
Right. Yep.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic. Because I mean, I've actually, now that I'm trying to think I'm wondering if I ever had a writer on my show as a guest, and I think I may have, but I've had so many people I'd have to backtrack and think about it. I think I have, but that's really cool. So that's why I can't wait to read your book. In fact, I think I wrote a book of short stories that took me 10 years. I may have a copy of it in my car. If I find it, you can have it. I used to sell them. I made a few $1,000s on it.
Wow, that's really good.
I gave one to John here, the guy that you might have seen about for 2 seconds. He's the executive director of the TV station.
That's really cool.
But the only thing is there is content in it. I mean, it's not if you're an avid churchgoer, it may not be the kind of thing you'd want to bring to church. But that's up to you. I wouldn't force. I wouldn't want to push it on you. But
right.
I mean, that's the way I write. I mean, I pull no punches when it comes to being expressive.
Right. Right.
But now, what about now? I have to ask. I wouldn't have asked this, but you did mention it. You said you had a bad breakup. Is there any chance that you might anything relating to that in your book? Not in a direct way, but like in an indirect way.
It would probably be in the end of the book.
Okay. Because obviously that means you haven't written it yet. If it's not in there yet.
It's in the beginning stage.
Okay.
I wrote the preface already.
Preface, right.
I wrote the first 3 chapters.
Okay.
But I was gonna go to the part where this girl meets this guy.
Yeah.
But this guy they dated maybe 3 years at least, roughly.
Yeah.
And I guess they got into a car accident.
Okay.
And how I was gonna write it was she survived after they both been in comas because they got in a bad car accident.
Right.
And she survived after 2 months. He came out of it after 3.
Yep.
But her brain was still there. His brain wasn't. So
Okay.
it was like 10-second Tom from 50 First Dates. And like I guess after that happened, I was thinking maybe because he doesn't remember.
Okay, so he has amnesia.
Yeah, you could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then it's almost like she has to start fresh.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's very intriguing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I like that.
And I was thinking maybe it's kind of sad, but it's in my notes somewhere at the end of the story when the book actually ends to go to the second book. I'm thinking about
a sequel, you mean?
Yes, I was thinking about him. I don't want to say too much.
Okay.
But to the point that he could be a murderer, if that makes sense.
A murderer?
A murderer.
A murderer.
A
murderer,
yes,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he doesn't remember. Because the next day he wakes up and doesn't remember.
All right, we don't want to spoiler alert, but I like that though.
Yeah,
You definitely have. I'm telling you, I think it sounds to me like you got a great imagination for such things.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me too like you should, have you ever written any short stories though?
I have in elementary, but I haven't really in high school. I just haven't really written it down.
So the fact that so you basically you really want to do the whole 9 yards and go all out and get a novel done.
Yeah.
And then maybe do short stories afterwards or not? Well,
Maybe.
Yeah. 'Cause I love reading a good short story. And one of the reasons I love it is because you can do it in one sitting.
Right.
You can get a whole experience, and it's not easy to convey a mood for in a short summation of words, basically, without and make it plausible. So it takes a lot of talent to do it.
I was thinking maybe kids stories,
Of
not
course.
so much of short stories,
Yeah.
but maybe kid stories.
What-
And I could probably just draw in there and then
Of course,
not have
you can
someone
illustrate
do
your
it.
books yourself. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Have you ever illustrated any kids' books?
I have not.
Okay. Have you now, as far as your illustrations go? I mean, who's seen them and what have they wanted to do with them? I asked you if you've ever been in a museum. You said no. But have you ever sold anything you've drawn or painted?
Not that I know of. I gave a few paintings to my grandparents,
Okay.
and they absolutely loved them. They wanted to actually put them in, I'm not sure, like in a church.
Okay.
I think I have them actually at my place instead.
Oh, well, okay.
I took a picture of Portland, and when you go over a bridge,
Yeah.
it was like cloudy and raining,
Right.
and I did a few tweaks off of like just to make the clouds in the sky a little darker.
Wow.
And a lot of my friends
Real
liked
dark,
it.
real dark, but fun
Like
picture to
right,
look at.
it was.
Yeah.
I did a few tweaks off of Photoshop.
Wow.
And
So you're pretty good with the special effects and color
Yes.
and changing colors and hues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a few of my friends wanted that photo to go to like a, it's like a art thing
Right.
at a community college.
There you
They
go.
wanted me to have it on the wall.
Wow.
And I just haven't had the time to give it to them yet.
Okay, you maybe have. All right. Well, have you ever done any photo shoots for people for money?
I have a few times.
You have.
I have.
Okay, meaning like family portraits and stuff, or people just kids or whatever.
A little bit.
Oh, cool.
Not too much.
Okay, but that's pretty good. You haven't. I mean, can you do that in your store? I mean, where you work? No, probably not, because that's a
Store
that's
like where I
the
work.
the superstore.
I probably can't. Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Would you ever think of opening your own store where you could sell your own art?
I probably could.
I mean, okay. I like I like to give people ideas
Right.
that are on the show.
Right.
That might be kind of cool. I mean, I know people up in Maine. You know, have you ever? Let me see. There's a college there that I went to. It's not SMU. I actually joined a theater group, but I don't think they really wanted me in there back in February, and I don't remember where.
Was it USM?
It wasn't USM because that's in Gorham, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the one I'm talking about was in South Portland. What's it? Was it? I think it might have been South Portland University.
There is a SMCC one.
I
But
think
that's
that might have been it.
But that was the community college one.
I think it was. It was on. It's kind of on the waterfront.
Yep, I
And
think so.
Yeah, I went up there, and there's a guy named Dickie Erickson. Do you know him?
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, he's about he's in his 20s. He's about your age, give or take. Yeah, I think he is. And so I joined that. I was by far the oldest one in there, but I don't think they wanted me in there. But since then, I've done a lot of interesting films projects myself. Now, speaking of films, have you ever done anything like behind the camera besides still photography? Have you ever done any filming? Do you have a camcorder?
I don't.
Okay, so you've never actually used one?
No.
And you never did any filming in high school or anything like that?
No.
Would you ever consider trying it?
It's a possibility.
Okay, because what I was thinking is that if you write that book and you like it, maybe you could maybe you could actually create a film out of it yourself.
I could.
And find actors, which I wouldn't mind being one. I mean, I'm always looking for new projects myself.
Right.
Right. Okay. So what are you modeling? Now you say this summer you're going to be picking a beach or something to do a shoot on somewhere.
Somewhere. I just haven't.
Do you have any photographers that are ready at your beck and call ready to pounce when you're ready to find a beach?
I actually have one. He's one of my good friends.
Okay.
He lives in Hanover, Massachusetts.
That's right near here.
Yeah.
It's the next
just
town over.
A few towns over, and Maine have.
It's 2 towns over.
I think so.
That's it. I know it
That's
is.
it.
I drive through it every time I come here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Next to here is Pembroke, and next to Pembroke is Hanover.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was thinking doing a swimsuit photo shoots in Maine because we have really awesome beaches there.
You sure do.
And I was thinking maybe
Maybe
I could
Old
go
Orchard?
to maybe,
Yeah.
or I could just go to Old Orchard, and I honestly have never been there before.
It's a great beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. If he's willing to go, I'd say go for it. If he's willing to drive up to Maine just to do a shoot of you, why not?
Why not?
He's your friend anyway, right?
Right.
You know, yeah, if that's what friends are for.
Right.
But right, okay. But they get some pretty nice beaches down here too.
I've never actually been to the ones in Massachusetts, actually.
Well, let me tell you something. You talk to your friend in Hanover, and this area here is known as the South Shore. Every town in this area going from here south is on the waterfront.
Really?
Yeah, this is remember what you told me before you were on Old Plain Street?
Yes.
All right, if you drove down there another maybe half a mile, you would have been in the sand dunes. That's why they call it Marshfield.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's beautiful beaches in Marshfield. In Duxbury, which is next door. In Kingston, which is next to that. And then Plymouth, the town where it all began. You know, the Pilgrims.
Yep.
It's all down here.
Wow, that's cool.
Plymouth is really cool because if you on Saturday afternoons they have a really good it's very cultural. If you like theater, if you like going to plays just to watch them, they have a beautiful theater down in Plymouth on the waterfront. And it's 1 block away, but people actually play music on Saturday afternoons during the summer. Right on that, I did a show. I had a woman come in here a few years ago, who was a musician, and she played in here, and we had some problem picking up the sound. I don't know. She brought her guitar in, and it sounded kind of clicky. So a couple of weeks later, in fact, it was my very first Topic Time Road show. We went down to Plymouth on a warm Saturday afternoon, June 18th, 2011, and her and her friends performed, and we got some great footage of that.
Nice.
And I interviewed all of them. So, yeah, it might be kind of fun to do that. Come down here with your friend and listen. Now, he's a photographer? Does he perform at all? Does he like sing and dance?
He does not. No.
He doesn't. Just does photography.
He works at a small business, and then off of his side, he does photographer.
Oh, okay, photography,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah. But I'm telling you, I mean, the Plymouth Rock is beautiful. And then then you could cross over the bridge into Cape Cod. There's plenty of beautiful beaches there too.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that.
Definitely, yeah. You're right in the perfect area for that.
Yep.
You know, I mean, there's beaches everywhere, but I mean, Maine, you get it's more coastal. It's down here, it's flatter, but you get more sand dunes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go down.
And the seafood is really good down here.
Well, as a vegan, I wouldn't know about that. Plus, I as a kid, I used to eat tuna fish, but then I got sick of it at 5. So that's probably the only seafood I've ever eaten. I feel terrible that lobsters and crabs get boiled alive. But even when I was still eating meat, I was always a steak and burger guy. I would never eat lobster just because I couldn't stand the taste of it, and the smell of it either. I couldn't understand how people like it, but I mean, what blows my mind is that how could it be that good if you have to douse it in 4 pounds of butter to even take a bite of it?
Right.
Right. You know, and clams too, same thing.
Right.
So, it's true. I mean, if you like seafood, yes, this is good down here. It is good down here. I'm not encouraging it, but I know, you might like seafood apparently, and you're gonna find that out if you're down here. There's plenty of seafood like there is in Maine too, although lobsters in Maine are very expensive.
Right.
Probably cheaper down here, but nevertheless, I wouldn't touch it in either state. But in terms of have you ever done you like outdoor stuff? You ever done any like boating? You like to boat at all?
Hard to say.
Because I'm thinking it would be kind of cool with you and your friend taking a boat out and doing a shoot on a boat.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because
lots of places to rent boats down here.
Are they reasonable?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, definitely. And then you could even go down to Rhode Island, and there's plenty of good beaches there too, and boating and stuff.
Right.
But
sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, the next state over, you get on Route 3, you go south, and then you pick up, or the Cape, or you then take Route 6 west, and you're in Rhode Island in about 40 minutes.
That's not bad.
No, it isn't. So now you're planning on traveling to New York. What are you gonna eventually model in New York? You think?
I want to.
Yeah.
I like the city, and I also like the countryside.
Right.
Just the thought of the city, how it's really busy, and how they have like.
You're a fool for the city. That's a song by a band called Foghat from back in 1976.
Oh, really?
When I was still in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because it sounded like Calvin Harris for a little bit.
My voice?
No, the song.
It does, yeah.
Because I think he sings it.
Well, you might have actually done a cover of it.
Yeah.
But it was originally done by Foghat in 1976. It was that summer it came out.
Huh.
And the funny thing is, I didn't really like the song that much then, but it's funny, sometimes you'll hear a song from your youth that you didn't like as a kid, and then years later you hear it and you love it.
Right. Like they turk it up.
Exactly. That can happen. So so what about dancing? You say you dance, but not when you what do you do? Let me ask you this: do you do anything to stay fit? Do you go to a gym? Do you aerobic dance or anything?
I try to exercise every day.
Okay.
I run.
Cool.
And it's probably one of the best because I get stressed from like work or from other things.
Right.
So it's a good
healthy
your head and
your body.
Yep. It's a good healthy thing to.
Well, you're up in Maine, and you run like on the rocky coast of Maine.
I sometimes run barefoot on beaches sometimes.
Well, that mustn't be good. Just be careful you don't step on a jellyfish.
I actually seen and touched a jellyfish once.
Yeah.
It was like in a little river on the side of like a beach. It was really cool.
Jellyfish are pretty.
Yeah.
I like looking at jellyfish. I like exotic fish. Yeah. Do you have like, I'm just wondering, do you have like an exotic fish tank at home?
No, but I was thinking about buying fish one day.
Yeah, not to eat, just to have as pets.
Yeah, just look at it.
It's a great idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking buying a hermit crab too.
Good. There you go.
Yeah.
Just like, if you don't hurt them and you just keep them on as pets, that's great.
And just let them walk around the apartment. Oh.
Was that right? Are they actually? Can they actually walk around an apartment? I mean.
They can if they can walk on sand. Just have to watch them so they don't go somewhere else.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, geez, I don't think I could have the stomach for that. I don't think my cat would like it either. But that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
I guess you could consider that an exotic pet.
I would think so.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people that bring tigers home and stuff,
Or like a bobcat.
or an alligator or something,
Yeah.
a bobcat. But I think in some place around here, you got to have a license for that, though.
I don't know.
Not for a hermit crab, but
No,
definitely
no.
for a bobcat. You
Right.
would.
Most
Yeah.
definitely. I was thinking this is kind of weird, but
Weird is good.
I want to actually buy a tarantula for a pet. Just make sure it doesn't like bite or anything, but
Well, we'll put it this way: just make sure that you keep it shielded enough. Keep yourself shielded so it doesn't bite you.
hope so.
Or, and
I don't
also
want to turn into like
or python.
Spider-Man or
You don't want,
something.
right. You don't want to turn it to the Black Widow.
Right.
Right. You don't. Right. Exactly. Well, you like animals. I mean, that's good. Now you say, do you paint all those animals that you just described? Have you painted them or drawn them?
No, not. I've drawn like a cat before.
Okay.
Before one of my cats died, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right. Okay. You drew your own cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever done any pet portraits for people for their pets?
I have not.
Okay. Well, that might be an idea to consider.
Yeah.
Oh, what about like abstract stuff? Do you do any of that?
Like colors.
Yeah, like colors, like Picasso. Like design, shapes.
I actually did like a portrait of myself. It's kind of like Picasso, I could say.
Yep.
But like, it would be like a face, and
Yeah.
my face is so like stretched out.
Oh, I love that. There you go,
And, like,
abstract. Perfect.
It was just weird how I did it. Like the eyes were like
Like you were looking
like
at yourself in a trick
sliding.
mirror.
a little bit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one face was normal, but the other side was sliding, and then the tears. If someone was crying,
Yeah, yeah.
the tears were like
They were long.
enough,
Yeah.
and it looked like it was dripping.
Yeah, yeah.
And
wow.
I showed it to my father, and he's like, "Wow, that looks like a Picasso drawing."
You are very talented. It sounds like you could. I mean, I wish you'd have brought some of your stuff to read and draw, and that we could have listened to, or I could have read and watched too, and looked at. But that's good. I mean, that is, you're a very, multifaceted young lady. You got a lot of potential. You've done a lot of stuff, and you still got quite a bit more to do.
Thank you.
What are you going to go to now? What are you planning to? You say you might go to L.A. as well. You like just because you like the city. Nothing. Never try it. Never going to.
I actually just want to just travel and
you just like to travel.
I just like to travel and see if I like it. I could probably just go from there.
Just to be there. Well, where have you traveled just for fun? Have you been out of the country? You been to Europe?
I
Asia?
actually been to Brazil.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a Brazilian guest in here a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, Brazilian DJ named Juliana.
Oh wow.
Yeah, small world.
That is a small world.
Yeah, she's probably about maybe a little older than you, in her 20s, but she does, you know what she does, like she goes to clubs and she does
Like a DJ.
right. She modulates music and she's very
Nice.
good at it.
Nice.
And she's also a bartender.
That's cool.
When you went to Brazil, how long did you go for?
I went for 2 weeks.
Okay, did you go to like Rio?
I went to Fortaleza. It's up north by.
I think that's where she
Brazil.
lives. I think she said that's where she's from.
Really?
Possibly. I think that she mentioned a town that sounded like that.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's she said it was in the north of the part of the country too.
Yeah.
Wow, but you didn't go to Rio at all.
No,
Thought maybe
Rio
you went
is down
I know it is. I
south.
thought maybe you went down for carnival or something.
Oh no.
Okay, no, that's not. What about New Orleans? I don't know. I can see you going to New Orleans.
Nor.
Festive area.
Could probably just like try their seafood.
Right. Well, just for the seafood.
Or go on boats.
Right. There you go. Boats, modeling down there too. What about? I mean, so you've been in Brazil. You've been in any other countries besides that?
Just that. I want to hopefully go to Norway. I have.
That's different. I mean, it's not warmer though, but it's
cold.
You don't mind the cold weather every now?
I don't actually. It's different. Like
Okay.
it's a different. It's just different.
I wouldn't mind going to Scandinavia. I had a girlfriend many years ago, and in 1982 I was actually going to go to Scandinavia, but then we started going out, and then I canceled the trip, and I would have done Norway, Sweden, and Denmark.
Wow.
But the year before I went to Scotland, but I've also, and then then in 1998, I got to go to China, and that was amazing.
Wow.
Definitely should go to China. Go to one of the Asian. Go to the Asia too.
I might have to like teach myself how to
Speak Chinese.
Yep.
Yeah, you probably. Well, if you could either do that or get a nice tour guide. But that's what we had. We had tour guides. It's a fun language to learn. It's very challenging because they don't have an alphabet.
Really?
You know that? You know that, right?
I
All
didn't
right.
know that.
Chinese and Japanese and some of the other Asian languages do not have alphabets. They have 3,000. Well, Chinese specifically has 3,000 characters. So basically, when you see Chinese writing, what you're seeing basically are the old world images of whatever it is that's being described. It's amazing.
Like hieroglyphics?
Yeah,
let's say?
hieroglyphics.
Two
Exactly.
lines and 2 dots could be
Well, like for instance,
a river or something.
yeah, right, exactly. Or if you see like this, like a symbol of one line with a square through it, that's the symbol for China, and that's supposed to be China was when the Chinese founded their country, they thought they were the center of the universe. That's what that means. So that's a line through the center. So that means to them, China means central to all. That's actually what the literal translation of it is.
Well, that's cool. I wish I could do that for my writing.
Well, it is. Well, that's what I mean.
It's so easy.
I'd love to learn Chinese too.
Right.
Let me tell you something. When I was 9 years old, I tried to learn it. That's how interested I was all those years ago. And they're talking. That's like 1968.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
That's a while ago.
It is. Doesn't seem like it to me. I had my tonsils off 50 years ago last week, and I remember the date. It was July 11th, 1964. It was a Saturday.
Right.
I had a hernia operation 10 years ago today. That was a Friday, July 16, 2004. So I mean,
wow.
Yeah. So I've had 7 surgeries, and now you look pretty. Now you're pretty healthy. You ever been under the knife before?
No, but I was thinking about being a surgeon a few years ago, but I decided not to.
Maybe that's a possibility someday. Well, listen, I got to tell you, we're just about out of time here.
Okay.
That's what Leslie was indicating a minute ago.
Okay.
So in the remaining few minutes, what I want you to do is, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to again say I want to thank all the people in the town of Marshfield and all the other towns that get the show for supporting me through all the 4 years I've had it, and I'm going to miss you guys. But now I want you to give as many shouts out to as many people as you can who are going to see this eventually.
Okay.
Well, go for it.
Like what are we saying?
Say I want to thank whoever my people, maybe your photographers.
Okay.
The people you might know on Facebook, your family, whatever.
Okay. Well, thank you for friends, family, photographers, new friends, for supporting me, even if you didn't come, which is fine, to helping me be successful in life and to help me to become a better person. I just want to thank you for everything you have done. Thank you.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, and that's great. So in the last 2 minutes, what do you plan to? What do you plans aside from the beach? You have anything other modeling plans for the summer that you have specifically nailed down?
Not that I know of. Just to try things new.
Okay.
Maybe to shoot in beaches or go outside of state and do something else.
Okay.
And go from
That
there.
might include your own photography too, right?
I'm thinking about doing that.
Okay.
And just maybe sell a few of them or sell a few of my paintings and go from there.
There you go. Wonderful. And where would you plan to sell them? Just on the street in Boston, maybe? Maybe try to get in a shop with somebody.
I was thinking probably posting it on Facebook and make it public, or make my own website.
You can do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Have you ever designed your own website?
I have not, but I don't think it's that hard.
It probably isn't, especially if someone is obviously as talented as you are.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, I mean, geez, based on that, and I'll tell you what, I mean, anything you got that you want to show on Facebook, I'll definitely share it and say you were a great guest on my show.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, well, you know what, we're in the final minute. I want to again thank everybody. This is Harrison Young for the last time in Marshfield. I'm going to wrap it up now, and all the other people, all the great people, John and Leslie have been really helpful to me, and Chris before Leslie was here. We've been wonderful. And so that's it. Hopefully somebody is worthy to fill the time slot. And this is Harrison Young for Topic Time, and thanks for watching. Take care.
Bye.